Hello, dear English learners. You know, every dream starts small. Mine started in a tiny village, inside a small room with no light, only hope. I was just a boy with big dreams. My parents had nothing but faith, and I believed that one examination, one chance could change my life forever. But I was wrong. At least that is what I thought when I failed. This is not just my story. It is the story of falling, breaking, and standing again. It is about how failure became my teacher, and how a broken dream became my strength. Part 1, The Dream That Broke. I was always a big dreamer, from a small village, but I wanted a big life. My father was a farmer. My mother worked day and night to raise me. They had no money, but they had hope. They believed in me. I wanted to become an engineer. So I studied hard, woke up early, slept late, sometimes no light, so I studied with a lamp. My friends played, I read. My family was poor, but I was rich in focus. After 2 years of preparation, I gave the entrance examination. It was tough, so many students. One seat, thousands of dreams. I waited for the result with my heart in my hand. Then it came, I failed. I checked again and again, but no name, no rank. I sat quietly on the floor. My father came and put his hand on my shoulder. But I could not look at him. I felt like I broke their dream. That was the first fall, and I thought my life was over. Part 2, I locked myself away. After the result, I locked myself in my room. I did not eat much, did not talk to anyone, did not go outside. I felt ashamed. My friends got admission, some even celebrated. I just sat and stared at the wall. My mother knocked on the door every day. She said, "Eat beta, you will try again." But I said nothing. I did not cry in front of them. But when I was alone, I cried a lot. I asked, why me? I worked so hard, why did I fail? My mind was full of doubt. I thought maybe I am not smart. Maybe I will never do anything good. I saw my books and felt angry. One night I pushed them off the table. They fell to the floor. I fell too, not my body, my spirit. I was lost. I felt like a failure. But life had another plan. I did not know it then, but that fall was not the end. It was just the start of something new. Part 3, A Talk That Changed Me. One evening, my uncle came to visit. He was a quiet man, always calm. He sat with me on the roof. The sky was full of stars. But my mind was full of worry. He asked, "What will you do now?" I said, "Nothing, I am a failure." He looked at me and smiled. "You think one examination can decide your life?" I did not answer. He continued, "Do you know how many times I failed? I did not get a job until I was 30. But I never stopped." I looked at him with tears in my eyes. He said, "Falling is part of the journey. Standing up is what makes you strong." His words touched my heart. That night I could not sleep. I kept thinking, what if he is right? What if this is not the end? The next morning I woke up early, for the first time in weeks. I opened my window, I breathed in the fresh air. And I whispered to myself, try again. Part 4, starting again slowly. The next day, I picked up my books again. They were dusty, torn in some places, but they were still mine. I cleaned the table, put my chair back. I sat down and opened the first page. It was hard, my mind was tired, my heart was scared. But I kept going, 1 page a day, then 2, then 5. I made a new routine, wake up early. Study, help my mother, study again. No phone, no distraction, just me and my goal. At first, people laughed. They said, Why is he trying again? He already failed. But I ignored them, because deep inside I knew, this is my fight and I am not done. Every night I wrote a small line in my diary. You can do it. That voice inside me, which was silent before, was now speaking. It was weak, but it was real. Part 5, The Fire Inside. 3 months passed. I was not the same person anymore. I was stronger, calmer, more focused. Every day I woke up before the sun. I read, I wrote, I solved questions. This time I was not studying out of fear. I was studying out of purpose. The failure had burned me, but from that burn a fire was born. One evening I looked in the mirror. My face was the same, but my eyes were different. They were filled with fire, not anger, belief. That night I told my father, I am giving the exam again. He just nodded, but I saw his eyes, they were wet. He was quiet, but he was proud. This time I was not doing it just for myself. I was doing it for them, my parents, my village, my own heart. Because now I understood. It is not about never falling, it is about rising. Part 6, The Day of the Test. The big day finally came. The day of the exam. The same exam that had broken me 1 year ago. This time I was ready, not just on paper, but in my mind and heart. I woke up at 5 a.m., took a bath, wore a simple shirt. My mother gave me curd and sugar. She touched my head and said, "Go win today." My father stood at the door. He said nothing, just nodded. I took the bus, sat near the window. The sun was rising. I held my pen tightly. When I reached, I saw many students. Some were nervous, some looked overconfident. I just closed my eyes and said, "Do your best, that is enough." The bell rang, the exam began. I read each question slowly, carefully. My heart was calm, my hand moved with focus. There were tough questions, but I did not panic. I just breathed deep and tried. 3 hours passed. I stood up, handed my paper. As I walked out, I smiled, not because I knew I would win, but because I did not run away. Part 7, The Long Wait. After the exam, life slowed down. Now it was time to wait, wait for the result. Wait to see what fate had planned. Every day I woke up, checked the website. But the result was not out. So I started helping my father on the farm. I worked in the fields, cut grass, fed animals. It was tough work, but it felt good. I was not just waiting, I was living. One evening, as I sat with my father, he said, "No matter what happens, I am proud of you." Those words meant more than any rank. Then, after 2 weeks, I woke up to a message from a friend. "Result is out, go check." My hands shook, my heart raced. I opened the website, typed my roll number. And then there it was, my name, my rank, my victory. Tears fell from my eyes. But this time they were tears of joy. I ran to my mother, she cried, she prayed. My father smiled, but his eyes were wet. We all stood there together, strong, grateful. Part 8, A New Chapter begins. College life started, a new place, new people. New books, new dreams. At first I was scared. The campus was big, everyone spoke English. I felt small, quiet, different. But then I remembered my journey. I had come so far, I had no reason to hide. So I smiled, I spoke, I tried. I made friends, I asked questions in class. Sometimes I was wrong, but I did not stop. I joined a library, read new things, wrote notes. Some days were hard, exams were tough, but I never gave up. One professor called me and said, "You ask good questions, you are different." That line stayed in my heart. Back home, people said, "He made it, he really made it." But they did not know how many times I had fallen, how many nights I cried, how many days I wanted to quit. Still I stood, still I walked. Part 10, my real success. Today I have a job, I live in a city, I earn well. I send money to my parents. But that is not what makes me feel proud. What makes me proud is this: I did not give up. I did not let a failure define my life. I stood back, I walked again, and now I run. I often go back to my village, to the small house, to the quiet fields. The children run to me, they call, "Brother, tell us your story." And I tell them, slowly, honestly. Not just the happy parts, but the dark ones too. Because they need to know. Even if you fall, even if you break, you can rise. You can build again, stronger, wiser, kinder. Now, whenever I face a problem, I smile. Because I know falling does not mean the end. It means you are about to grow.